so creative, welcome to the sewing class. I remain Right Touch, your most reliable fashion tutor. Okay, so now this is the front bodies of our outfit. So we're about to sew the clothes. Now I'll be taking out my patterns from the main fabric. Okay, so after taking out my pins, I have opened my fabric. So the first thing I want to be working with is the facing. So I'll be placing the facing on the neckline like so, and then I'll be sewing it round on 1/2 inch. So I'm done sewing the neckline. The next thing I'll be doing is to notch. So I'll just put a notch on the neckline. So I'm done notching the neckline, so I'll be flipping it back like this. Okay, then after notching, I'll do a top stitch. Okay, while top stitching, I'll place the part that has the 1/2 inch that I notched to the facing part. So I'll just be using my sewing machine to top stitch on it. So I'm done top stitching on the facing. Okay, so this is what I have here. So the next thing I want to be sewing is this rope. Okay, my dart manipulation rope. So all I will be doing, the right side is facing me. Okay, this is the right side of the fabric. So I'll be placing the right side facing the right side. Then I'll use a pin to secure. Okay, so let me just repeat that. So this is my fabric here. Okay, the front side is facing me. So I'll just be folding it into two. You know, there is the part that I notched where the belt is going to stop. So I'm just going to fold the two, place the two notches together. Then I'll use a pin to secure. Pin to secure that part. After securing, I would want to sew it down on 1/2 inch together. So I'll be running my stitches on it on 1/2 inch from that point. So I'm done sewing the belt to the down part. So the next thing I want to do is to notch the middle of the belt, the middle of the down part. Okay, this is the part I sewed, so I'll notch the middle. So now I'll place the middle to this part that I have sewn like this. Okay, I'll place it to this part. So then I'll be sewing on 1/2 inch. Okay, so after doing that, I'll have to turn. I've done that the same thing to the both sides. Okay, I've sewn the belt. So the next thing I'll do is to turn it inside out. Okay, so I'll just be bringing it out from this point. Okay, so creative, so I'll go to my pressing table to open press the seam lines. Then I would now turn it inside out, like we'll turn it out from this point here. After you open press, so I'll turn it out. Okay, so creative, so I am done pressing. So after pressing, here is what I have. Okay, so I pressed my belt down like this. So let me show you the back. So this is what the back looks like after pressing. Okay, and you can see my belts here, and then where I'm going to sew. Okay, where I'm going to sew is here. So the next thing I'll be working with is the back. So I have pinned my facing on the back of my outfit. Okay, so I have pinned my facing. So I'll just start sewing away from 1/2 inch because I'll be fixing a zipper here. So I'll go in by 1/2 inch and start sewing the neck all round. I'll sew this other part and then top stitch. Okay, then I'll go ahead to fix my zipper. I have pinned the back, okay, on my outfit. So I pinned the right side of the line of the fabric, then the right side of the facing is facing the right side of the fabric. So I'll be sewing on 1/2 inch at the neckline area, but then I'll be starting away from 1/2 inch because I'll be fixing a zipper here. So I'll start sewing from 1/2 inch all the way to the neckline. Okay, so I'm done sewing the neckline on 1/2 inch. So the next thing I want to do is to notch. Okay, so while sewing, I stopped away from 1/2 inch. Notching. The next thing I want to do is to top stitch on the neckline. So I'll just be doing the same process like the way I did for the front, but then at the back I'll be stopping on 1/2 inch because that is my zipper allowance, okay, that I'll be using to sew the zip. So I'll start sewing on the facing. Okay, I'll start doing my top stitching on the facing like this. Then I'll stop on 1/2 inch where I will use to fix my zipper. So I'll do the same thing for the other side. Hope you like it. Okay, so creative, so I'm done sewing the neckline. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is to sew the shoulder of the front and the back part. Okay, so I'll be facing the right side of the front, facing the right side of the back, and then I'll be using a pin to secure the neckline so that I'll be able to start sewing the shoulder on 1/2 inch. Okay, so creative, so I have secured the neckline. The next thing I'm doing is to sew on 1/2 inch at the shoulder area. I'm done sewing on 1/2 inch, so let us see what it looks like. So I'll also go to my pressing table to press the shoulder. Okay, but before then I'll be sewing the other part, and then I'll go to my pressing table to press the shoulder, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, so creative, so I am done pressing the shoulder, and here is what the outcome looks like. So you can see how beautiful the neckline is laying. So this is how yours should look. If yours is not looking like that, please go and redraft, cut and sew again, because neatness is the key. So let's start sewing the sides. So now I added 1.5 to the side seam allowance, so I'll be holding the side by 1.5. Okay, so I'll just be measuring 1.5 down. Okay, so from the side I'll be marking 1.2. I'll be marking 1.5. 1.5 all the way down. 1.5. Okay, so I'll be shaping the sides. Okay, so I'll be doing the same thing at the other parts. I'll be sewing 1.5 down. I'm done sewing both sides of 1.5, so you can see how it looks like. So the next thing I want to do is to go to my pressing table to open press the seam line like so, the two sides like this. So creative, I'm done pressing the sides. As you can see, the seam allowance on the both sides, I folded the one on the armhole in a triangular form and the one on the waistline. Okay, so this is the right way to fold your seam allowance while you iron the sides before sewing the skirt part to your arm. Okay, so after pressing the sides, okay, like so, the next thing we want to do is to hold the dart at the back. Okay, so my dart is about 1 inch at the back. My dart is about 1 inch at the back, so I'll just be, and I have already notched where the dart is. Okay, so if you have not notched yours, please do so, or you just have to measure where your dart is located. So I notched mine on the fabric from the pattern, so I'll just be placing my darts on fold, and my dart length is about 5.5. My dart length is 5.5, so I'll start sewing from there. Okay, so this is what I have. So I will be sewing the other part and then I will go and press. So I am done pressing my dart and you can see how it is laying beautifully. So now I will take the down part of the outfit, which is the skirt part. Okay, so I'll be placing right side, facing the right side of the skirt part. Okay, so I'll just be pinning the waistline, so I'll be able to sew on 1/2 inch all through. So I'll pin it on 1/2 inch down to the other parts of the back. Okay, from one center back I'll pin it down to the other center back. Okay, so so I have pinned the waist. So the next thing I want to do is to start sewing on 1/2 inch. So this part that has the sewing side, it should be in a triangular form while you sew. So I'm done sewing the waistline of the outfit. So I'll take out my pins. After taking out my pins, this is what it looks like. So the next thing I'll do is to go to the pressing table to iron. On the waistline, I'll be taking 8 inches down. Okay, so you can use 8 inches or 9 inches. So I'll just be marking 8 inches down from my waistline. Okay, so from that point I'll be sewing on 1/2 inch. So I'll be sewing straight down on 1/2 inch. So I'm done sewing down the waistline. Sorry, I'm done sewing down from after the waist straight down to the hem of the outfit. So the next thing I want to do now is to fix my zipper. So I'll be changing my foot to a zipper foot. Okay, so I'll be placing my zipper. Okay, so this is what the zipper looks like, invisible zipper. So you have to open it up before you'll be able to sew the invisible zipper perfectly. So I'll be placing the invisible zipper on the right side, facing the right side of the fabric, and then I'm just going to sew by the side first. I'm just going to sew it down by the side. Okay, I'm just going to sew it by the side first before I sew it close to the zipper. Okay, this way it's easier for me to sew. So you can sew your zipper the way it is easier for you to sew. So I'm just going to be sewing it at the edge down. So I'm done sewing it by the edge down. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to sew it close to the zipper. Okay, you have to open up the zipper like this, then you sew it inside. Okay, make sure you are using a zipper foot because that's what makes the work easier for you. So while sewing, you have to open up the zipper so that you'll be sewing close to the zip. So you're sewing close to the zip. Okay, so creative, so I'm done sewing my zipper. You can see how neatly it is laying. So the next thing I want to do is to open up the zipper to finish this upper part here. Okay, so I'll just sew this part across the zipper, and then I'll sew it down. Then I'll sew it down just to make sure that that part looks smooth. You can now go ahead to cut this upper part like so. Okay, so this is what I have here. Okay, so I can also use my scissors to push this part a bit. Okay, so now I'll be sewing the other part, then I'll press, and then we'll go to sewing the sleeve. Okay, so creative, so I'm done sewing the both sides. So this is the final outcome in finishing the back part of your zipper. Okay, so the next thing we are going into is fixing the sleeve. So I'll be bringing my sleeve now. So it's time for us to sew the sleeve. Okay, so I'm here with the band of the sleeve. This is the upper part that I notched. So I've notched the upper part, and this is the down part. So now what I'll do, I'll pleat this my sleeve, my bell sleeve. I'll pleat it to about 7 inches because my round sleeve is 7 inches, but then I'll leave 1 inch on both sides because of the seam allowance I added by the side was 1 inch. So I'll start pleating from 1 inch. So I'll be pleating 7 inches at the down part like so. Go. Okay, so creative, so what I have here is more than 7 inches, so I'll just pleat a bit, and then I'll be sewing the down part of my sleeve. That's the band. I'll be sewing it on 1/2 inch. Then I'll go to my pressing table and open press the seam line. Okay, so creative, I'm done sewing and pressing the band. Okay, so I sewed it on 1/2 inch, open press, and then I folded one side of the band with 1/2 inch like this. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to get the middle point of the sleeve. I'll just use my scissors to notch. After notching, I'll be placing this part that is going to the back, facing the back part of my basics of my sleeve like so, and then I'll be sewing it all through. Okay, so and also you have to target the midpoint. You make sure that the midpoint is touching the midpoint of the sleeve. Then I'll start sewing from that end. I'll go over this part also. So after doing that, I'll take the midpoint of this band here. Okay, then I'll place it on top of this rough edge. It's just to cover this rough part like so. Okay, then I'll start from that part. Then I'll start sewing it on top of it. Okay, so creative, so I'm done binding the rough parts of the upper part of the sleeve. Okay, and then I found that I have excess on the band, which I'm going to trim, and then I'll serge it. But before then, we want to shape the sleeve, so I'll just be folding the right side of the sleeve facing the right side. like so. Then I'll use a pin to secure it. Okay, so after securing, I'll be measuring my sleeve band, which is 3.5. Okay, so I'll sew 3.5. So after I get to some point, I'm going to stop. Okay, then I'll place it upwards like so. Now my round armhole, which is this point, is giving me about 7.5, getting about 7.5 on the round armhole. So I'll take 7.5 here. Then I would mark. So I'll start sewing from 7.5. So I'll sew in slant, okay, to 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm done. So I'll turn it to the front part. So this is what I have. So the next thing I want to do is to notch the midpoint like so. Then I'll take the shoulder part of my sleeve, which is the midpoint also, and I'll place the midpoint facing the midpoint of the sleeve. Then I'll start sewing on 1/2 inch. So I'm done sewing this part on 1/2 inch. What I'll do, I'll flip my sleeve like so. I'll take down the zipper and I'll bring it out from here. Then I'll sew the other part down with 1/2 inch. Yippee! So I'm done sewing the sleeve. You can see how beautiful this is laying. Wow. Okay, so you can see my belt. So now the last thing you are doing is to bend the down part. So you just fold it once all around and then you are done. Thank you for watching. I remain Bright Touch, your most reliable fashion tutor. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on your notification bell icon if you are just joining us for the first time. And like my video.